Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with the Atakline for Wednesday, December 7th, 2011. Alright, let's kick things off with some sad news, some deaths in music today. Starting with Barbara Orbison, the widow of the late singer Roy Orbison, died at the age of 60 today in a hospital. Yesterday, on what was ironically, sadly, the 23rd anniversary of Roy's death. Barbara died of pancreatic cancer at Los Angeles County USC Medical Center, surrounded by her sons, said a publicist. Barbara had been hospitalized since May. Since the 80s, Barbara has been devoting her time to managing her husband's estate and keeping his legacy alive. Of course, Barbara's late husband, Roy Orbison, probably regarded as probably one of the best singing voices male of all time. He was a beautiful singer, beautiful songwriter as well. It said his death of his wife. A lot of people are sending condolences, including another widow of another famous man who died of pancreatic cancer as well, Lisa Swayze, wife of Patrick, saying that Patrick and I had always had a warm connection with them both. Now we have lost this wonderful lady. So thoughts go out to the Orbison family and friends at this time, survived by her 3 sons. And that wasn't the only sad celebrity music death today. Obie, known for his one hit, Drift Away, died at the age of 71. His website confirmed it, but no cause of death has been announced yet. When other songs like Look at Me, the In Crowd and Loving Arms were released, not as big as Drift Away. Drift Away is his biggest hit that's most remembered. So many people have covered it, including Uncle Cracker, who had Obie sing on it. And condolences go out to the family and friends of Obie. And as mentioned, same goes for Orbison family and friends for both the deaths of Barbara and Obie. Alright, let's get on down with the rest of the news of the day, starting with Billboard #1s. It's been saying this lately. Everyone's still #1s. Everywhere you go. Whether it's still #1 movie, Twilight for 3 weeks, and same for Billboard. Still #1 pop album, Michael Bublé Christmas. #1 for the 2nd week in a row. With not a lot of competition, mostly debuting in the top 50, Michael retained #1. We also have a still #1 pop single, Rihanna's We Found Love for a 5th or 6th week. And Raphael still at #2 with Sexy and I Know It. And Jay-Z and Kanye got their first pop top 10 hit from Watch the Throne. Out to say the song is N-Word in London. N-Word in Paris. And we also have a still #1 country single, which is Lady Antebellum with We Own the Night for the 2nd week in a row. Now let's get on to the topic that's probably the most talked about topic of the day. The inductees for the class of 2011 or 2012 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have been announced today. Instead of the usual 5, there were 6 today in the performance. Starting with Donovan, known for Sunshine Superman. Loa Nyro, who I don't know much about. Then we got the Beastie Boys. Probably only the 3rd rap group to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, next to Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC, known for songs like Fight Fire at the Party, Sabotage, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, What You Want, Intergalactic, the list goes on. Also, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are also being inducted this year. They're going into the Hall of Fame as still a relevant group, recently releasing their album I'm With You this past August. And of course, we know their hits. Their albums include Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Stadium Arcadium, among others. Also, the Small Faces / The Faces, the group that included Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart, known for their hit Stay With Me. And probably the most talked about band on this list, Guns N' Roses. Yes, they will be inducted. First time on the list, and they're in. Known for their epic debut album, Appetite for Destruction, and Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Now the big question is, who will show up for Guns? Especially with the relations with the former band members being as hostile as it is, with Axl hating Slash, but making peace with Dizzy and Duff McKagan recently. Like Van Halen showed up with only Sammy and Michael. Anthony, former members. Who knows what will happen with Guns N' Roses inducted? That's going to bring a lot of tension and bring a lot of interest heading into the April 14th ceremony, which will be in Cleveland, Ohio, and open to the public. Tickets will go on sale next week, and the ceremony will be broadcasted on HBO. First time that the Hall of Fame will be broadcasted on pay TV, not cable TV. That means it'll be uncensored. Thoughts on the induction were shared by mostly everybody but Laura Nyro and the Beastie Boys. Donovan said he's excited as punch about the induction. Excited he's inducted alongside many people he knows. He knows most of the inductees, including Laura Nyro. Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers stated the band is happy about their induction and said that when he told his dad cried. Rod Stewart stated that after missing his induction in '94, he'll make the Small Faces / Split Faces induction despite the fact he's on non-speaking terms with the keyboardist of the Faces, doing shows without him. And Steven Adler, former drummer of Guns N' Roses, he's excited about the induction, and he's hoping for a reunion from the original lineup, crossing his toes and fingers for that to happen. Likely not. My thoughts on the inductees? Not a big fan of Nyro or Donovan. Don't know much about him to say anything about him. Not big fans of theirs. Beastie Boys? Yeah, they get somewhat mad because they're the first major white rap group to explode out of the mostly black rap scene in the late 80s. But still, I'll get to that in a moment about other bands who should have been in there. Well, Chili Peppers, a lot of these people have been on the ballot numerous times. Donovan's been on the ballot numerous times, finally getting in. Laura Nyro was on the ballot numerous times. She's finally in. Beastie Boys, they're finally in the numerous years on the ballot. Same for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They've been on it numerous times and they're finally in. They're still relevant. They still make great music. They influenced a lot of people in the funk world. So I'm happy that they are inducted. Love their music. Hope to see them on tour. The two bands that were on the ballot for the first time they got in were the Small Faces / the Faces and G&R. In my opinion, Small Faces and Faces, I don't know about much about them besides the fact that Rod Stewart was in it and Ronnie Wood was in it, and then the one hit Stay With Me. When it comes to Guns N' Roses, they still probably made, in my mind, one of the best debut albums of all time, Appetite for Destruction, and gave rock a good shot in the arm in the late 80s with the whole glam rock scene. So I applaud G&R for that. But when it comes to still not acknowledging great bands like Judas Priest, Rush, Kish, Deep Purple, and Motorhead, among others who are still not getting the recognition they deserve, is still blasphemy for what many would call the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. For every Madonna, Prince, Black Sabbath, and G&R induction, there's an ABBA, there's a Laura Nyro. For every 5 good inductions, there's about 20 bad ones. You know what I mean? And Heart was on the ballot this year. They didn't make it. That was stupid. Joan Jett, she didn't really deserve it, but still. The list is okay. You know, there's some good people like G&R and RHCP and stuff, but still. See bands, like I said, that still are not getting recognition is blasphemy. Hope they get it right in 2012 for Class of 13. And when it comes to rap groups being in the Hall of Fame, should be Public Enemy next. They're eligible next year. Alright. Let's continue on with UFC news. A lot of UFC news today. starting with GSP getting injured again. Back in October, GSP was supposed to fight Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz out due to no show in the press conferences. Insert Carlos Condit against GSP. Then GSP gets injured. GSP's out. End up being Condit and being up Penn and Diaz instead of Condit. Diaz beats Penn. Diaz was supposed to get a shot against GSP. In February, GSP gets injured again. Injury is ACL. Be out for 10 months. Now Condit will fight Nick Diaz at the Super Bowl Saturday, UFC 143. That leaves one little problem. I told you about a week or two ago on the Atakline that Carlos Condit was signed to face off against Josh Koscheck. But unfortunately now, with Condit now facing up against Diaz, thanks to the new GSP injury, who will fight Koscheck now? Who knows? Hope we'll find out in the next couple of weeks. That wasn't the only major UFC news of the day. They announced the plans for the next UFC on Fox, following their 1 hour, 1 fight format, which ended up being a big disaster with the fact it was only a minute fight. They're making it up to the fans, advertising 3 fights for the main card, which will air on Fox on Saturday, January 28th for the United Center in Chicago. It'll be a 2-hour special with 3 fights. Those fights will include the Filipino Wrecking Machine, Mark Munoz, taking on Chael Sonnen. Michael Bisping, fresh off his victory over Jason Mayhem Miller, he will be taking on Damian Maia. In the main event, Sugar Rashad Evans taking on Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis. The fight that was supposed to happen in August until Davis got injured. It was replaced by Ortiz. Now, 2 of the big fights have title implications. The winner of Rashad and Davis will take on either Bones or Machida in their title fight this Saturday. While the winner of the Munoz Sonnen match will get a shot against Anderson Silva for the middleweight title. And Bisping and Maia will be fighting for who will face the winner of the Silva Munoz Sonnen match, whoever wins over Sonnen Munoz versus Silva match. And I'm glad the UFC is taking some initiative after that Fox showing, only 1 fight, 1 hour, being a minute. I'm glad they're taking some responsibility, making a 2-hour show, 3 fights. Hopefully this will end up better than the last one. At least they're making progress. At least they're learning from their mistakes. Hopefully it all goes good on January 28th at United Center. Speaking of shows on Fox, let's talk about Glee for a minute. Glee was on last night. Although dramatic as usual, not as much dramatic, as dramatic storylines had happy endings, with Quinn and her storyline with Shelby and Beth ending up with Quinn forgetting about it and applying for Yale. And New Dimensions went on the regionals, sectionals without Rachel, and still won over the Trouble Tones, bringing the return of Mercedes, Brittany, and Santana to New Dimensions. Also returning was Sam, coming back to town with his stripper moves and everything. Nice to see him back. Like the little quote about, "David makes you wear glitter." We don't know why, because Sam was hiding the fact from his parents he was working at a strip mall. Other things, we didn't see a lot of Sue this episode, which was kind of a good thing. Kind of, no situation with her and Coach Beast and the whole Cuda thing. It was an okay episode. Probably one of my best episode I've seen in a while. Still dramatic, but still best Glee I've seen in a while. Happy to see Glee back in a really good mood heading towards Christmas next week. Last episode of the year, so there you go. Speaking of last episode of the year, tonight is the final Modern Family of the year, being the Christmas episode tonight. Can't wait to see it. See the previews. It's going to be fun. If you've seen the Thanksgiving Modern Family, which was 2 weeks ago, which was awesome, saw last season's Halloween episode, you can only expect great things and laughter on tonight's Christmas Modern Family tonight at 9 on ABC. That is it for the attack line. See you all later. Then bye. You've been attacked by the news from Zach. Thank you very much. See you later. Yeah.